Okay, so in this example, we're given a quadratic relation. How do we know it's quadratic? Because it has an x squared term, okay? And they're asking us to write this equation in vertex form. So we need to go from standard form, good, this is standard, and we need to write it in vertex form. So y equals ax minus h squared plus k. Okay, so we need to figure out the vertex in order to write it in vertex form. Okay, so we know the vertex is located at the highest or lowest point of a parabola, and it's where the parabola changes direction. The axis of symmetry goes through the vertex, correct? How can you find an axis of symmetry? We can add the zeros of the relation, or the x-intercepts, and divide it by 2. Okay, so given this equation, can you find the x-intercepts somehow? If we can find the x-intercepts, then we can find the axis of symmetry, right? Because we know that the x-intercepts, the midpoint of the x-intercepts, will give us the axis of symmetry. What form is a quadratic relation written in which gives you the x-intercepts? What's the easiest form that it, factored form. So what's the first thing we need to do here? Factor. Let's factor this. Okay. We can find two things that multiply together to give us what? -5 and adds up to -4. So what are factors of -5? What times what gives us -5? +1 and -5. Okay, what's 1 plus -5? -4? Okay, that works. So in factored form, this would equal x plus 1 times x minus 5, because 1 times -5 is -5, and 1 plus -4 is -4. So that means that x plus 1 is equal to 0, and x minus 5 is equal to 0. So when y is 0, I'm just making y 0, that means that the x value is an x-intercept. So what's the first x-intercept? -1. And what's the second x-intercept? +5. Good. Now that I know the x-intercepts, I can find the axis of symmetry, because the axis of symmetry is going to run through the vertex. If I know the axis of symmetry, I know the h value of my vertex, right? Because I need to put this in vertex form. So how do we find the axis of symmetry? Add the zeros, so I'm adding -1 plus 5 and dividing by 2, because it's halfway between the two x-intercepts. Good. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So the axis of symmetry is equal to 2, and that's the h value of my vertex, right? The axis of symmetry runs through the vertex, so the h value of my vertex is 2. H is equal to 2. Okay, so we just found that the axis of symmetry is equal to 2, which means that x is equal to 2. The axis of symmetry is the x value, correct? This was our original equation. We know the x value now. I know what x is equal to. So when x is 2, that y value will be the y value of the vertex, right? So can we find y? Because that will tell us the other part of the vertex. Can we find what y equals if we know x? Yeah. Okay, so plug it in. X is equal to 2, so 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. Solve for y. Figure out what y is equal to. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 take away 8, take away 5 is -9. Good. Okay, so I have my x and I have my y. Because this was our axis of symmetry, I know that this x and y is my vertex. Okay, so my vertex is located at 2, -9. In the equation, in the vertex form, what letters are the vertex? H and K. The question was asking us to put this equation in vertex form. What other variables do we need to plug in to write vertex form? We need to know a. What is the a value in the equation they gave us? It's a 1, right? I can multiply anything times 1, it won't change it. The a value stays the same no matter what form it's written in. So if the a value is 1 here, what is the a value of this parabola, of this relation? 1. So can we write this in vertex form now?
Yes.
What is it? Y equals 1 bracket x minus, good? Yep. Good. We don't actually have to write the 1, but that's fine. You can just leave it as x minus 2 squared minus 9. No, because, okay, so this is the equation in vertex form.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.